as a function of how many, literally hundreds of thousands of workers are being forced to work without pay, and others who are off, and that, these federal workers are dispersed throughout the country. It's very difficult for the media, I think, to create a narrative, because there is no specific, singular, shared experience until, as you mentioned, it was reported that Republicans on Air Force One were basically were coming out and saying that Donald Trump is not going to react to this unless there's some type of shutdown in the airports, because that is one of the few. Well, there's two elements to that. One is it's a shared experience that happens nationally, right? I mean, simultaneously, this is going to affect people in Chicago, in L.A., in New York, in Miami, in Dallas, in Atlanta, in Omaha. I mean, this is going to affect everybody simultaneously across the country, and frankly, it's also going to impact wealthier people more than people, of less means. And they debate, that's the way our society works. They have more access to the media in many respects. Then the question becomes, do you think that we're going to see some type of labor action? Because, this is an opportunity for folks in the TSA or for federal aviation air traffic controllers to exercise some labor muscle.
Well, it may be this is going on long enough now. I mean, it's the longest in history, and it buys, quite a bit now, too. I think it's like, I don't know, it must be 24, 25 days, something like that, by the time people are listening here. It is this is a very long period, shutdown, and people can't live without their paychecks. I mean, I think the average Americans, even even people who have money, normally need their paychecks. I mean, this is just not something that I think that's kind of a bottom line understanding across all, except for maybe the top 1%, people like Donald Trump, who says, "Oh, I can relate." And actually, somebody, I think it was Britt Hume from Fox News, said, "Yeah, don't people understand that he doesn't get a paycheck? He has given up his own paycheck." It's like, are you kidding me? But in any case, yeah, I mean, this is, I don't know obviously something like that is likely out of necessity. These people can't work and not be paid. They can't not be paid. I mean, that's just the way it is. So, yeah, there's going to have to be some kind of labor action, I think. And we're already seeing it, of course, on the part of TSA. A lot of the TSA people are calling in sick, and some people are saying that they're out getting temp work because they need to get some cash. So, they can't go to the job that isn't paying. They've got to go to one that is. And, so that's actually happening. And, if the air traffic controllers there'd be a very interesting sort of reaction, I'm sure, from the right wing on that. But the airline pilots have already registered their concerns about this. This is not a system you want to put this kind of stress on. Let's just put it that way. From TSA to airline pilots to air traffic controllers, these are people you want to have a predictable workplace where everything is, is running as smoothly as possible. Because if something goes wrong at any point in that system, airline safety is definitely threatened and people are unsafe. And, here's Trump out there saying over and over again, my main mission is to keep America safe. Well, I mean, this is basically not keeping America safe. It's making everything more dangerous for all of us. And not just with airlines, with everything from food inspections to drug inspections to everything, highways, everything that the federal government does and the ancillary services that go with it are impacted by this. So at some point or another, people are going to start to feel it. And I think people are already kind of going, whoa, wait a minute. And Pelosi canceling the State of the Union or disinviting the president, which is her prerogative as speaker, is absolutely the right thing to do. You can't stage a big pageant like that in the middle of this and have I would be an obscenity, I think, as the government is shut down and the president's standing before Congress and they're all, all the Republicans are clapping like a bunch of trade seals that what a great president he is. I mean, it's outrageous. Of course she had to cancel it.
I mean, it's interesting. Like, I wonder, does she have the ability to actually cancel it? I mean, or is this really more of a way of basically saying, look, I'm going to put you in a box. And that box is either going to be, you're going to listen to my suggestion to not do the State of the Union or to just submit it in writing, or you're going to do the State of the Union. And I've just basically I've just framed the entire speech as one which is going to happen during the course of a government shutdown. And like, because I think the idea that there's some type of state of emergency is a non-starter at this point, right? Like, I mean, this has been going on.
The shutdown is the emergency, right?
Well,
I mean, that's
indeed. And the reality is that, look, you mentioned food inspections. Some of the most, sort of like, I guess, sensitive food inspections, I think they have restarted with inspectors who, again, not making any money. But the reality is more people die by, probably a multiple of 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 and never mind getting seriously ill. More people die from lack of, from food safety issues every year by, like I say, multiple factors than die because of crime that is committed by so-called undocumented immigrants. I mean, so never mind, in terms of drugs and in terms of like getting social services and whatnot, this is the crisis, and he has created it. I want to talk a little bit more about this. We're going to have to do it in the next hour. If you will join me, Digby. I'm Sam Seder. This is Ring of Fire Radio. We'll be right back, and Digby will join me in hour 2 of the show.